So we're going to start by solving these linear equations here in the top right. And they're almost the same as solving a normal equation. So we have 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 9. Well, I'm going to add 1 to both sides first, just like I normally would. That's the opposite or inverse of subtraction. And that would give us 2x is greater than or equal to 10. And then the opposite or inverse of multiplication is division. So I divide both sides by 2, and that's going to give us x is greater than or equal to 5. In interval notation, we would write this out as 5. We use a bracket because the bracket indicates that we could include that number in our answer. If it was this symbol here, greater than or less than, then we would use the appropriate parentheses around it. But then we're going to have comma, and this goes on forever, so we would put in infinity over here. And infinity, no matter what, always has an open parentheses. Now the question below is almost the same thing, but there's an important difference. So we add 1 to both sides. That's going to give us negative 2x is greater than or equal to 10. And for inequalities, when we multiply or divide and the negative was on the same side of the letter, we flip the way the inequality was pointing. So when we divide both sides by negative 2, that's going to give us x is less than or equal to negative 5. And then when we go to put this interval notation, we would have a negative infinity all the way up to negative 5, and this would be a bracket because we do include it. So just to emphasize this point, for 3x is greater than negative 12, we divide both sides by 3. The negative was not in the same side of the letter when we multiplied or divided it, so this would just be x is greater than negative 4. And the one below it, though, the negative was on the same side of the letter, so when we divide by negative 3, we would flip the inequality, and it would be x is less than negative 4. For this top left inequality, we have to break this up into two inequalities. And then we would just solve this like normal. There's two inequalities, so the one here on the left, I'm going to subtract 2 first on both sides. That would give us 3x is greater than 2x minus 6. Then we would subtract 2x on both sides, and that would give us 1x, or just x is greater than negative 6. And the inequality on the right side, we would add 4 first. There's different ways you could correctly solve this, but we would add 4 first. That would give us 2x is greater than x minus 22. And then we would subtract x on both sides, which leaves us with x is greater than negative 22. So the key about this question is it wants to know where it's both true for x is greater than negative 6 and x is greater than negative 22. So I'm going to create a really informal number line to give us a little visual of this. So x is greater than negative 22, open circle at negative 22. I'm going to shade it to the right. And then for my x is greater than negative 6, open circle at negative 6, and I'm going to shade it to the right. So it's where the both overlap in this case. And that's going to be right here. So my answer would be, in interval notation, would be negative 6, open parentheses, comma, infinity. And if you have any questions, ask your math teacher.